You can see this is the first suit I will ever wear. Was my uncle's suit. Up to that time, I never owned anything like a suit. I came from very poor background. At the age of 12, I could not speak English. All my primary school years, I was taught in the dialect of my hometown, which is more or less Yoruba. So we were taught in Yoruba and sometimes in the dialects. Any mention of English will have to be translated. So by the time I got my uncle, the original owner of that suit, he got entrance exam into secondary schools for me and brought me from the village at 12 years old. Soon he discovered that all the English in my mouth could be contained in teaspoon. He now said he had gotten entrance exam. He had to send me to a lesson, evening lesson, on English. And they should just teach me English. All the entrance exam will require knowledge of English to pass. I went from one school to the other. Those schools needing no entrance exam until finally I did last year in a school in Ogun State. And then I passed JAMB. As a matter of fact, I was the only person in that school that passed JAMB to enter university. And it was the second JAMB. The first JAMB was in 1978. The second JAMB was 1979. Here I was, you see the trouser, look at the excess of the dress. In spite of the fact that at the waist, I had to fold most of the things. I had no belt. I didn't even remember that belt was necessary. But we thank God today. During my stay in university, I read 2 different types of books. One, to prepare to pass. The second, to prepare to prosper. If I had a bowl of water, I would rather use it to bath this car than use it to bath myself. It was my baby, my wife, my children. And it was sickly. It was sickly because you said,
she said, did you buy the gun? I said, I don't know.
It wasn't fairly used. It was thoroughly used. Those were the days of carburetors. I had to buy another carburetor. We changed the tires to fairly used tires because I bought it at Ode Oniri. They had sold some of the parts. We had to buy some of those parts, and it was a long story. So during the year of my NYC, I was able to save enough money to prepare to start a private clinic. Next, the 3rd day after NYC orientation camp, I started a clinic called Tolu Medical Center in Lagos. That was the first week. Everything was wood. You can see my couch was wood, chair was wood, table was wood, theater table. We had no theater, no laboratory, no x-ray, no scan, nothing. We had me and 4 other auxiliary nurses. I prayed that God, let me be able to have enough money this month to pay these people. So I will read read books, and I will practice. I will read. How many people know about Kaizen? Kaizen means continuous learning, continuous improvement, just little improvement based on the application of the learning. Kaizen starts with learning, because if you don't take in new things, you cannot manifest new things outside. As within, so without. So if you don't improve the inside, you can't improve the outside. This is the first anniversary of Tolu Medical Center. You see the railings, they are absent. So I couldn't take the picture of the day we started because it was horrible. We had painted the outside, we had put, you can see the louvers and the mosquito net. You can see the entrance. Look at the reception of the hospital. You understand? Look at the flower pot. Can you see humble beginning? It was so humble that a lot of people that visited me from College of Medicine, from my classmates, felt sorry for me. You understand? But me, next 5 years, kept pushing. Me, next 5 years, kept pushing. Me. Because it's inside take and courage. So we started developing the thing. Next, please. It's 4 years. 4 years after. This is the 4th anniversary of Tolu Medical Center. And then the next is the 9th anniversary of Tolu Medical Center. And what I'm saying is there's usually what they call miracle in manifesting vision, which we call me in the next 5 years. There's another hospital in Lagos next, came to Ibadan in 1989 to start Ibadan Central Hospital. We sold that property at Joyce B Road and buy the one at Ososami. You will still see Ibadan Central Hospital. Later we improve it to now be like this. 1988 to do MBA. I finished year 2000. And of course, next, one thing led to the other. Next, 1998 to 2000. So I jackpot. In year 2000. Why? Because if we run a system, the system will run itself. So the 3 hospitals I had then were running themselves. And those were the days when we had no WhatsApp, no phone, no technology, almost zero technology. But the system was there. It has its own problems. but they were managing their problem. So I spent the first 2 years in England to read about how to start a business in the UK. Knowledge must come first. You understand what I mean now? If knowledge does not come first, you will waste a lot of money, a lot of time correcting defects. And remember that anything that certain people have done in the past that you desire to do, until you read what they have written about it, it is foolish to repeat the same thing. Learn first about what you want to achieve. It will show you the pathway. The pathway is always narrow. The third year in the UK, I started my first shop. I called it then Access Stores. There was nothing I was not saying. I was transferring money to Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Africa, West African countries. I was, you can see, Access Stores, Lagos and West African nations. That was Said Balogun. I was sponsoring a lot of them. Most of them, I bought their first flight to London because I was selling their products. Selling cassette in those days. You understand? Now they call it Nollywood. It was not called Nollywood at that time. They didn't know what to call it. After 5 years, I relocated back to Nigeria. Why? Because at that time, my son was had finished primary school, went to a school that I discovered would not be able to prepare him to enter medical school. And then I discovered that I was not in charge of him. I had loose influence. You get what I mean? Government had more interest, more influence. And the only way I can regain my influence is to come back to Nigeria. I packed my luggage. I came back home. And then they were going. You know, when you start and run a system, the system will continue. So I came. I had nothing to do than the children. I had forgotten everything about mathematics and chemistry and all those things. So I hired teachers to take charge of them. I put them in private schools. So, next, we started the 110 Academy. That was 18 years ago. Then things I had pretty nothing to do because even going to the hospitals in Lagos, most of the people that knew me had gone. New people had replaced them. There was a time when I came back, I went into a ward. They told me, sorry, it's not visiting time. You understand? They had not seen me before. So I had to leave because I could not be arguing with them that I should be allowed to enter. So it was that kind of scenario. Today we have 110 Academy in Lagos, in Ibadan, and in Abeokuta. Out of joblessness, I find myself as a special advisor on health. And I spent 1 year there and discovered that it was not a career for me. Of course, I served my school as a president of Alumni Association worldwide of the Ibadan College of Medicine. I also served as the chairman of the board of UI Ventures. There's a way. Baba kept talking about foundation yesterday. When you get to a stage, you will be led to form a foundation. Because everything you start will grow. If you start giving, giving will grow into a foundation. That's why whatever you do not wish to grow, you should not start. So, of course, we run several charity programs through. Giving is so important. Baba mentioned it yesterday. Problems should not start before you use charity to cure it. Use charity to prevent it. In the absence of charity, what you have is crisis. This thing they talk about giving is fundamental to well-being, business creation, wealth creation, joy, happiness, opulence, abundance. So out of having nothing to do, you understand, my lawyer then said there is a property at Old Ife Road that is a hotel that they want to lease it, the entire property, call it Layinka Hotel at that time. How many people know Layinka Hotel? Okay, thank you. So I now said, I don't know about hotel. I can convert it to hospital. I know about hospital. So it's just down the road here, the property. So we lease it for 10 years. And I said, well, I can use this place to practice how to save. I opened an account for them. For 9 years, all the profit they made, I kept for them. For 9 years. Their profit was going into an account every month for 9 years. So we now told the landlord, sell this property, because the money we had was enough to buy the property. 9 years of savings. You understand? He said, Doctor, I know you are wise, but not wiser than us. You are paying money regularly. We should sell it to you so that you will stop paying money. And then we will stop receiving money. There was no way I could persuade them. So I now chose the alternative approach. We had 5 plots of land where we are. So we bought the plots one by one. We bought all the land. And then I used their money to build that one. 9 years of saving. Profits of that. Because there was nothing I was using their money to do. The money coming from Lagos was okay. I just needed to feed myself with the profit of one of the hospitals. All the rest we should be stored. I've changed this thing they call saving to storing. Because saving is so confusing. A lot of people think that saving is operating a bank account. So they keep money, they save, unsave. Save, unsave. After about 3-5 years, they are still on the same spot. Save, unsave. The cycle continues. Storing is better. Storing means Anything you store, you don't go there to unstore it. Which explains why I'm not a fan of loans. I don't take loans. If you can store, you can. If you store, you can give loan to bank. Is it not? Rather than taking loan from the bank. When you give loan to bank, they give you what? Interest. The best time to give bank loan is now. Why? The interest is high. Can you get what I mean now? You will say inflation. Inflation. 5 years time, you have nothing. Yet, inflation. Can you get what I mean now? But if you keep saving, 5 years time, you will see what you have stored. And you see the babies that have come from the maternity ward of your storage. Can you get my gist? So you can see all the other land. Look at it. I divided the land into two. Where the hotel will be now is that portion. Of course, this is the Ososami Road Academic Suite. Abeokuta, this is block A of Abeokuta Academic Suite. This is where we are now. What I do mainly now, because I relocated back to England January last year. Now I give seminars to London Billionaires Club. Our next seminar is 21st of September, this September. Next, I've written many books. This is the book that Joshua read. You understand? It was distributed by Nigerian Tribune at that time. This is another version of it, adopted by Governor Ajegunle at that time. He read it and said this book should be distributed to every household in Oyo State. That was before he became governor. As a matter of fact, it was a great key to the weapon, to the arsenal in campaign. Was giving people were rushing to collect it. All the 33 local governments in Oyo State had this. As a matter of fact, 50,000 copies. 50,000 is a lot. Exactly, he too later fall in love with those books. He wrote the foreword to this book too, Executive Stress Management. The idea behind this is wealth. Health is wealth. When you are healthy, you have energy, you have ideas, you have interest in wealth. You nurse desire. If you are unhealthy, everything will appear pale to you. When they mention money, you spit. Health is vital, and that it's important you learn how to manage stress. Stress is a gateway to ill health. All ill health. I also wrote this book, Basic Entrepreneurship. See the key things. See, there are too big books, too many big books on entrepreneurship. Just the key things for business people who have no time. I wrote this for doctors. Most of I used to go in the past from association of doctors, one association to the other. So all the things I put together, I put it there for doctors. You know, doctors have no money. Generally. I'm not talking about Dr. Jabi. He has plenty of money. Money in marriage. I also read a book about money in marriage. If there's no money in marriage, there's nothing left in marriage. Everything will scatter. Like I told you, there are two things that brings harmony. One, money. Two, giving. The giving of the money. First, the having of the money, and two, the giving of the money. So I wrote a lot about before wedding, what to look for when you wed. Before, if you don't think, it does not affect. Okay, there are some people who are single here. You are single? Single. What to look for before wedding. Because once you enter, the reverse gear is gone, spoiled. You can't engage it anymore. Only forward. Money is not something you run after. Money is something you attract. I will explain that later. I'll give you full account on money and the law of attraction. I grew up on the farm. I liken the growth of money to the growth of yam. They are similar. So, yam is planted on the farm. Money is planted in the city. And you are in the city. You must learn how to plant it and grow it and nourish it and harvest it and enjoy it. You must learn how to fumigate it against attackers. They will attack it. Once they know you have money, they will attack your money. Government will attack it. Borrowers will attack it. The people that can attack it the most are the people who cannot plant it. They can't plant their own. Once they see your own, they bring gun and weapons. This one was written by the then First Lady, Florence Ajimobi. It's a book on how to save, my own perspective. This is a book on how to set goals and the way to go immediately after goal setting. This is how to create a business system. I called it how to create a business that thrives in your absence. How to create a business system. Once created, you must keep recreating it. You keep serving. It's like a vehicle. You keep servicing it. This is about communication skill for business people. Where what form of communication do we have in business? Negotiation, public speaking, persuasion. You understand? Persuasion, advertising is another form of persuasion. Public speaking is persuasion. What am I doing now? I'm convincing you, persuading you to be rich. That's what I'm doing. Telling you that prosperity is pleasant and poverty is not. I'm moving you away inch by inch from the habitation of poverty. How to sell is part of persuasion. How to conduct meeting is inside. Is part of persuasion. This is the major book I went to present in Bauchi. Laws of Money. People were amazed. This is the first of my book to have the status of first bestseller on Amazon. The foreword was written by the current president of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This is what to do when business is bad. The practice of marketing. Practice, that is practical marketing. These are golden nuggets, something to make you feel good every morning. The key to happiness, to joy, to opulence, to attracting something good is to feel good every day, every moment. Find things to make you feel good. That's why they say, count your blessing. There's no way you will count your blessing and not feel good. The opposite is also true. Count the blessing of another person and you feel bad. This is how to run profitable business in a depressed economy like Nigeria. You see, when you want, seasons are important. This is the season of depression in Nigeria. We have always been in the season of depression. So, the books we read are maybe written in England or America. We have to cultivate from practice Nigerian model. I wrote a book on charity and philanthropy, development of giving, benefits of giving. This is a particular book about me at 120, not me in 5 years. Can you understand what I mean now? You have a global outlook. When you are 120 years, how is it going to be? And bring it. Once you see the end, you come to where you are, and then you look at the first step. You will see the first step. You might not see the second. But when you climb the first step, you see the second. If you climb the second, you will see the third. You understand? It's so easy. The other alternative is anxiety, worry. Building enduring business empire. By the time you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 companies, we are going to learn new things. Inside this book are chapters on starting one company, making it 2, making it 3, by the time there are plenty, building structures. As they are increasing, the structure will be, what they call organogram will be changing. And how to build succession plan is in this book. So you have to know a lot of this ahead. How to become the legitimate route, the honest truth, the transparent route to becoming a billionaire. These are all the books.